is the thing. This is the thing you got to do in life, man. You gotta inspire each other to do stuff. You got to be around people who inspire you because it gets tough in life to do things. You know, life is real hard.
It really is, guys, and you don't have to stop because it's hard. You know, there are some people have people to lean on. Some people you got to lean on yourself till you find someone else to lean on.
Yeah, you got to lean on yourself.
And that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah,
you might have to lean on yourself for a little while longer to get to that person that's going to inspire in you, and you inspire that person
exactly
to cooperate together to make something happen.
Yeah, because you got to get a partner in crime, or a partner in your bet, or whatever the case you want to call it.
A partner in success. A partner in winning. You got to find you somebody. Don't go actively looking for this person.
Exactly.
But the energy, once you feel that energy reciprocated, you protect it. Let's go.
The Leveling Up Podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, bro. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh man.
I mean, we do definitely got to get into this takeoff situation.
Ugh.
Bro, it's ridiculous to me.
I'm disgusted, bro.
I'm really disgusted too, bro. But you know what's weird? There's so many interesting things about that. You can just put it on the side. It's cool. But supposedly this situation was it was a check-in situation. You know what checking in is, right?
No. What happened?
So according to certain things, like anytime a rap group goes out to another territory, they got to check in with the powers that be in that area.
The powers that be.
Or the people who kind of control that area to make sure that they're safe, supposedly. It's called checking in.
Oh.
And, Josh Prince was there in Houston. You know, Jay Prince, I don't know if you heard of him, but he's real big. He started Rap A Lot Records. But supposedly they have a power base there. Like this guy, supposedly when people have issues, like their jewelry gets stolen in the city, he's able to get it back. Have it returned if it gets robbed. So these individuals are, and it's called mob ties. That's the name of their group. And so Quavo had an issue with somebody there. He was getting ready to leave, but he said I'm gonna leave before somebody gets hurt. You know, you don't spark no stuff and no static. Ain't gonna be no, like James Brown said. Just leave. So in the process, somebody pulled out a gun and Takeoff, he stood up, got shot twice in the head, once in the abdomen, boom, he dead on sight. Done. But you know, the weirdest part is I was listening to Charleston White. And Charleston White was saying that one of the guys who was there, which is very eerie, he said that Takeoff didn't say nothing to nobody that whole night. He's quiet that whole night. He had no drink in his cup, and he was pretending like he was drinking. He said he was there, but he wasn't there. Like he almost could sense that something was about to pop off. But he wasn't cognizant there. He wasn't, like, mentally he was not there. And he didn't talk to anybody the whole night. He talks to him all the time. He said, he didn't talk to me the whole night. And he was quiet the whole night. And he said there was nothing in his cup. He was pretending that he was drinking. So, and as soon as he got up, boom, he got shot. So my thing is this. What is the situation? That's kind of almost like he almost knew. You know what I'm saying? I always wonder about that because even when my dad died, like he called me, and the way he spoke to me is like this is the last time he's speaking to me. Because my dad said to me, he never said goodbye. He said, "Oh, I'll talk to you later." All right? He kind of told me, "Oh, I need you to pray for these people and do this and do that." And I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Goodbye." I was like, "Goodbye?" It's weird. And that was the last time I talked to him. And then I got a call a week afterward that he passed. So I always wonder, like, with people, do they know in situations that they're going? You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because I have my own experience with that. And my aunt noticed it. I was going to visit my dad in the nursing home. My mom came, my brother came, my sister's there, and my aunt's there. My aunt is my dad's sister, and my mom kissed my dad like it was gonna be the last time they kissed.
Yeah.
Like I had never seen them kiss like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't long. It wasn't some drawn out thing, but it was different.
Yeah.
And it wasn't but a couple weeks later she was gone.
Wow.
And that type of stuff it's really eerie. It's really because you don't know.
You don't know.
And people feel like they know, so they move different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a shame because like it goes back to some of my own conversations, man. You moving in rooms that you don't have to be in.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing good happens.
I'm not blaming him for being there, but the stuff I've been hearing in the media is that only Jay Prince's people had guns on them.
Oh, wow.
That they were the only ones that were really allowed to have guns on them. So you moved yourself into a camp where you had to trust another person's rulership over the guys that he's with.
Yeah, exactly.
With your life. Which is another story.
Because
you went somewhere where you had to check in as a multimillionaire.
Exactly. Why do you have to check in the first place?
Why do you have to check in as a multi-millionaire? Why do you have to check in Texas?
Exactly.
One of the biggest states. One of the biggest states. In the United States. You're checking in.
Exactly.
You have to sit around with this group.
You get their permission.
Trust them.
Yeah. And these are the people supposed to protect you when you check in.
These are the people that's supposed to protect you when you check in.
Yeah.
And that's the shame. It's like, I'm not blaming him, but it's just, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, nobody should have to check in with nobody when they don't own.
They don't own the person.
They don't own it. They don't own this area.
They don't.
Like, you don't own this area.
You don't. Not only do they not own the area, why do I have to check with you? Who are you that I got to check with you? You know what
I got to run with your camp the entire night and trust y'all with all 3 of our lives?
Exactly. And supposedly, with Quavo, they might have been surrounded. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a whole nother thing. You don't know these people like you or not, but you rolling with them. Maybe you were Maybe you was friends.
Well, supposedly this guy was in there in Josh Prince camp taunting him. You know what I'm saying? Taunting him about some basketball game or some crazy thing. But to me, I don't see, this other guy, OG Percy, was saying, shout out to OG Percy, was saying that it's what the media wants you to think about it. It probably wasn't a dice game. It probably wasn't what you think it was. It's probably a meeting, and he said, I don't get down like that. I'm not going to do whatever you want me to do. And they're like, oh, but you're in my city. You're going to do what we tell you to do over here.
That's probably why he was sitting there with that cup the entire night.
Exactly.
With nothing in it.
Exactly. And see, the thing about it is that he probably just went there for backup. But you know what? This lawyer was on the internet was saying nothing good happens after 11 o'clock. And it's October the 31st, which is Devil's Night. Nothing happens good on Devil's Night. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it just felt like all type of things was going bad Halloween night, yo.
Exactly.
In my own personal life, I was having things just like
really
went sideways on me that night. Like I was just
really,
yeah, man. Like I had like a issue with my wife that night that we don't normally have, and it was just like it was different.
Yeah.
The energy was different, and it's not like we're not, we don't get along. We get along really well, and that's what made it like what?
Yeah.
Like, huh? Like we weren't connecting. Let's say that.
Wow.
It just like you know when you connect with people, you know you just having good conversation, blah 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 blah. And it just like it was weird. So that happened, and then I'm still on my phone because that happened. I'm still bothered by the situation, and I'm on my phone and they're like, what was it? Quavo passed away. I was like, oh whoa,
Take off.
take off. And they say they say take off. I'm so sorry. They say Takeoff passed away. I'm like, I'm gonna see Takeoff all day.
Of course, yeah, of course, you will see everything.
I'm gonna see Takeoff all day, and I have a problem with that. But the problem I had was that I generally felt like it was somebody I knew.
Yeah.
Like when I heard the news and saw the news, it hit me like it was like a cousin, a brother, or somebody like that. That's how hard it hit me. Like I was like, huh?
Exactly. It's weird because you don't know these people.
I don't know them, but I felt it. I felt it. It's like I feel like it's like a disturbance in the matrix, so to speak. Yeah. Like it was something shook that this was not supposed to happen. Exactly. It was planned out to be this way.
Exactly.
And it's really weird, and it's a sad story for all that's
it's weird. You know what is weird?
All that's a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to cut you off, but you know what's a strange thing? From the Migos kind of breaking up and having all these weird issues going on. Excuse me. These weird issues going on. It's like they think it's a setup. You know, it's kind of just strange. You know, because it can throw.
It's strange that when you have well, it's not strange.
Yeah.
It's not strange that when you have a disagreement with your team, you guys are not as
unified,
famous.
Yeah.
Famous, unified, or trending right now.
Yeah.
That after y'all not really talking to each other, y'all go somewhere together and somebody dies.
Yeah. Now you're trending like crazy.
Somebody had to go.
That's what I'm wondering. Isn't that weird though?
Very. Nobody can tell me any different that it's not something that was. Can't tell me it was a coincidence.
No, I don't
There's just
think so.
too many of these coincidences.
Exactly, because
people stopping into places to eat, getting robbed, killed and shot.
Exactly.
People doing, you know what I'm saying, going out, the nightlife. This things that hasn't happened to rappers, famous rappers, in a very long time.
Exactly. It never used to really happen. Now it's happening all the time.
Now it's like there's a trend. There's like you die, your record sales go up.
Exactly.
And they sell you for the next year.
Exactly. And think about it like this. Now, not Takeoff, but Quavo and got to come back together. They're going to be more popular than ever because now there's all the attention's on the Migos. The Migos were kind of losing a lot of
they're losing a lot of steam.
A lot of steam because Lil Baby was on there killing it. And they're like, hey, y'all not really producing much hits right now.
Man, but like I said, bro, it was like it's like a family member passed.
Yeah,
and I'm watching it on my phone. Like I'm just like, whoa.
And I was watching it. See, I always get, I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I always get obsessed with people when they die like that. And I started looking at everything they've ever done before that for a while. Like, I'll go back, look at all their interviews, and be like, what led up to this point where this individual had this thing? Now, guys, I just want to let you know, we still want to encourage you. We're just telling you how we personally feel about certain situations kind of affected us with death. That's what I talked about my father. I'm sure D talked about his mother. But we want to let you know that death is not the end. Death is not always a bad thing. I mean, if you know where you're going. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, Charleston White was like, why do we always think death is a bad thing? Just transition to another world. Energy cannot be destroyed. nor displaced. It's transferred. So your energy is going to be transferred somewhere else, whether you go to heaven or whether you go somewhere else. But remember, I was telling you that whole thing that KRS-One was saying was deep, is that you can close your eyes and still see. You can talk and not speak, and you can hear and not use your ears. What dimension? He's saying that's a fifth dimension. That's another dimension. Or that dimension where you start talking to God or talking inward out and getting certain things out. Because it's almost like this situation. Like, remember you told me about a rut. A lot of our ruts are internal. Because what are we attracting the things that we want? Like, I was thinking about this. Like, I went to go look on this Scat Pack. Somebody bought it. It was $49,000. I was like, gosh, dog, somebody bought my spot. No, that's not my Scat Pack. I can get a Scat. I got to call those things into existence. You know, this whole thing that I saw in Psalms 82 is that I say, ye are gods. God said ye are gods, but you're going to die like mere men, which means you're not using the power of the word that you can use to start creating your life, because it's all in what you say. Excuse me, guys. Just got this stuff stuck in my chest. But it's all in the words, because everything that you see around you has been built by a word. So if that's the case, what do you need to attract by speaking out of your mouth for it to come to pass? You know?
Yes, sir.
The more you keep it's what you're saying every day is what's producing. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. They that love it eat the fruit thereof. So you keep on producing what you speak.
Yes, sir. I have a friend that a frat brother that showed me some apparel that he wanted to put together for everybody.
Yeah.
And he was showing it to me, and he was like, well, I know it ain't that good, and it's okay, and it's not perfect. Yeah. And I'm just like, if you're going to sell this to me.
You ain't selling it to me.
You're not selling it to me. You're not showing it to me. The conversation, I'm telling him, don't talk like that. This is stage one. Yeah. This is the beginning. Exactly. This is a prototype of what your jacket could look like. Exactly. Okay? It only gets better
from here.
Not that it's not good right now, that it's not finished. Don't talk like that, or else it's free to try and sell me. Exactly. Don't give me.
You haven't convinced me your value proposition.
There you go. Yeah. Don't give me a Honda Accord when you're trying to sell me a Rolls Royce.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Don't show me a Honda Accord picture. Yeah. But say Rolls Royce under the name. Exactly. Don't do that. If it's nice and it's gonna be nice and you know it's gonna be nice, but maybe that's the issue. Yeah. You don't know it's gonna be nice. You don't know if everybody likes it around you. You can't talk like that.
You can't talk like that.
You gotta be able to see your product where it's going to be and talk about it as if it's going to be like that.
That's the whole thing about seeing without seeing.
Yes, sir.
Because now you see in your mind's eye, because anybody who's done anything, excuse me, has seen in their mind's eye first before they actually got to wherever it is. And now in my mind, I'm starting to think like, how do I live my life without thinking about the things I need to acquire by trying to acquire them, by allowing them to come to me instead of me trying to acquire them? Because it's almost like, what mindset do I have to have? It has to be unlimited. It's got to be like, okay, I look at certain things. I look at Rolls Royces and houses and all these other good stuff. Of course, those things are not going to make you happy. What would make me happy is not having to worry about money ever. Duh. Period. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then that would be after you attain that. What is there? What's else after that? So you've got to continue to understand that you got to continue to evolve. A lot of our issues in life is because we're constantly thinking about the problem instead of thinking about solutions and strategies to be free of all the problems, period. Because what's going to put you in position to get your mindset where you don't think about any of these problems is just all you can think about is strategy and allowing God or allowing yourself to fall into that strategy. It's almost like this. I'll tell you one thing that I used to look at a certain type of individual who have a lot of money. Remember Mel Gibson and what's this girl name? She was on, I don't know if it was Roseanne. It wasn't Roseanne, but she's a heavy set, excuse me, a heavy set comedian, and she said one time she never thought about money. She's way rich, very wealthy. She said, I never thought about money, never concerned about it. Never concerned about it. Now, sometimes things that you don't concern about come to you much more than the things you're worrying over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What are you trying to attain? Now you attained it. Are you going to be happy because of that? You know what I'm saying? Are you happy now that you've attained it? How do you start seeing your life like, okay, we've got this point. Am I going to be happy based on this? It's really just temporary. You know what I'm saying? You actually got to have joy in life. You decide to enjoy the little things you have. But if not, then you're going to feel useless because you don't have a purpose in mind in whatever God wants you to do or what you feel you need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So my mind says like this, just be free of all that. Free of all the agendas. Let's try to get to the point where whatever you need to attract, start believing it's already there. And pull that in. Just pull it out of the air. Yeah. Pull it out of the universe.
Yeah, my thing is, and my theory is the more you make yourself better, the better the odds that these things will come unto you.
True, yeah.
Like even if we get into the conversation of value, make yourself more valuable to other people. Yeah. And they'll pay you more for your value. They'll pay you more for your value.
Exactly, because somebody out
not exactly your value.
Exactly.
Nobody could ever pay you your value.
Correct.
But somebody's gonna want to give you something for the product that you're producing.
Exactly. But how do you get to that point? So this is the thing. How do you get to either that or you put yourself around people who are already at that point, who are valuable or consider themselves valuable, and then you just come up to their level. So who are you surrounding yourself? Because it's almost like this situation with Takeoff. He probably wouldn't, if he was at home with his wife and his kids, like Offset was, wouldn't have been in that situation. Both of them not married. They both don't have kids. Offset has a child. He's got a wife. He can't be out at 11 o'clock going to bowling alleys, checking in and nobody. He's not doing that. You know why? He got a family. He probably was in sleep in his bed. If you were out there in that situation, why are you around people who have guns on a regular basis? You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not gonna be there. I'm not playing dice games. You're a multi-millionaire. Both of them, multi-millionaires. What do you need to do that for? You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, And when I guess when I get to that point, I'll be able to look around and go, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't catch myself over there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like on the internet there's this thing going around that rappers shouldn't try and mix like the rap game and the dope game and gangster stuff together.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just be
yourself.
Be the rapper at that point.
Exactly. But I think they're intertwined though, because a lot of times people who are rappers are gangsters, or at least want to affiliate with gangsters or have gangsters around them for protection. And a lot of gangsters who happen to know rap artists are embezzling those rappers. They're taking from them. They got to pay out.
That's a whole nother situation. Yeah. There's probably even that, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
There's a possibility it's that type of situation, y'all, that he decided to stop paying them.
Exactly.
And that was it.
Supposedly that was Nipsey Hussle's situation with the Rolling Sisters.
Another situation where people were paying for security from these rogue groups and clubs that are putting pressure on these rich or well-off rappers, and entertainers. Yeah. To the point where they're getting taken out of here.
Exactly.
If they don't not paying.
Exactly. And that's a mob thing. That's a mafia thing.
It's a huge mob thing. And it's just like how much money does it take to get out of the situation?
Because it's almost like you can't get out, because a lot of these guys getting in this situation is the money from the game to get there in the first place. Because think about it, when you're trying to build a group, somebody's got $50K, $100K, Where's it coming from to you to promote what you're doing? Yeah, if record company's not giving you money, you get money from your boy. He was in the game. He give you $100,000. Guess what? He wants that money back. He's an investor. He's a shareholder. But doesn't he want it back? He wants that back and more.
And then you want your partner's cut and your other partner's
exactly.
cut.
And what you gonna say?
And what you gonna say? You can't say anything.
You're gonna say he's a gangster.
You built it on something else. But I'm just like, like you think you make so much money that you just like, impervious to this.
You're not.
Should. You really should be.
You should be.
You feel like you really should. Like you really should, but it goes back to and I'm not talking on Takeoff's character or anything, but it goes back to the character of people that you hang with.
Yeah, exactly.
That you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Like, and knowing your situation and what situation you're in.
Yeah.
Because it's situational awareness, y'all.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're in a negative space with negative people.
And you should leave immediately. There's something called, I forgot, there's kind of hard awareness and soft awareness. And this is something that they teach in tactical awareness for bodyguards and things like that. So when you walk into a location, right, you should always be looking for the exits. And you should also know if somebody's coming in, what the vibe is from that individual. He coming in with a long black coat, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Looking bulky up in there. It's time to bounce.
It's time to bounce.
You know what I'm saying? If you sit in a restaurant, your back is to the wall, and you can see the front entrance, nobody can really sneak up on you in that aspect and do anything to you. I mean, there's certain things you got to situationally be like. When I walk at any place, I'm always looking around. I don't care if it's church, and I'm even thinking while I'm playing at a church, I'm like, what if somebody busts up in here to try to do what that other that white kid came in there and killed everybody? What would I do? I have to throw my guitar at him? I'm thinking about these things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it could happen. Hopefully it doesn't.
You're right, and that should be like but like guys, this is one of those things that I feel should be an instinct.
Yeah.
It's not something that you have on your mind to worry you, but it's something that's on your mind because the situation could change at any time. Yeah. In any moment. You never sit there on your laurels and well, listen, it's never happened, so it's not gonna happen. Don't ever think do that.
No, don't think
ever
that.
do that.
Always be aware. Period.
You be like, oh, I never had I never had a heart attack, so it's never gonna happen.
Exactly.
And I know people who are real young, man, and they having these heart attacks and strokes.
Wow.
And my dad had some early strokes, and once you have one, it's easy to have another one. Even if you're trying, you know what I'm saying? My dad was trying real hard. He had one stroke. It was like a set of mini strokes.
Wow.
So he knew something was going on, but it hadn't quite hit him all the way. Yeah. It wasn't like a huge one. Like, sometimes it's those ones that that hit you and
Slim. Sorry, bro.
It's cool. We can still hear you in here, though.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't mute the mic. So it's all over the record. It is what it is. I've been doing the same thing all week. So don't bother yourself. My sinuses are full.
Yeah, bro.
And I've been trying to get off foods that's going to make that even worse.
Any type of stuff like potatoes, bread starts.
But mind you, we had heat and then we had a hurricane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people stayed home. People stayed indoors. It rained outside.
It was terrible.
It was terrible. This is South Florida, y'all.
Yeah.
We don't see the seasonal changes as much. Yeah. But when you have prolonged anything, it can create situations that are unfavorable.
Exactly.
So sinuses, all type of things kick up. So back to what we were talking about.
You're talking about your dad and stroke. And
my dad and his stroke thing.
And all situational
My
awareness.
dad had this mini stroke, and you think you never gonna run across it, so you just keep eating the way you eat, and you going about it the way you going about it. Yeah. And you figure you had one, you ain't gonna probably have another one. You've been exercising, you good, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you have another one.
Wow.
and it's not as
Not as good as the back.
it's not as good as that first one.
Wow.
It makes things a lot worse.
Of course, because it opens up the door.
It's not easy. It opens up the door. It's not easy going through it. And what you got to do is you got to make yourself aware.
Yeah.
Let's get back to what we were talking about. And Dirk was talking about, wondering if somebody's going to come in the church and while it's playing. And you're like, this is like it's a man thing.
Yeah, it could be a man.
It should be a man. It's a provider thing. It's a provider of safety. You're not just provider of money. You provide safety. You provide counseling. You're a provider.
Yeah.
And when providers go into action, sometimes it's premeditated. It is something that's already been on the mind. It's something that's been worked on before it even has to happen.
Yeah.
So that when it does happen, there's less of a likelihood of it taking all of us out.
Exactly.
So it's nothing to feel bad about.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wondering about it all the time,
of course, you're paranoid.
And it changes the way you move your life and the way you talk to people, and you're mad because you wondering about this hypothetical thing going on, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Then it's a huge problem.
Yeah, because you're going crazy now.
Because you're going crazy now. Now you're going crazy. But to be aware, I feel like it's a man thing to assess situations.
Yeah.
And assess relationships, which I really hope the Migos was doing at the time, was assessing this relationship.
Yeah.
And that relationship just made it went bad.
I mean, and one thing too is that supposedly they didn't really, I think Takeoff and Offset didn't resolve their differences before he died, and that's the worst thing in the world. You got people out here that you love, and you got issues. You can't let days go by, weeks, months, years go by, and not speak to them.
Man.
Because really, you think you're helping, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself, and really you can't move on. You can't move on because you got this thing in the back of your head with unforgiveness. It doesn't allow you to really get a clear indicator of what you need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Which is the craziest
you know
part.
What I'm saying? You've got to get a clear indicator of freeing yourself from things that are encumbering you. Your mind can't be encumbered by petty things. I'm realizing that to have a different mindset on what you're trying to accomplish in certain things in life is you got to be unencumbered.
Yeah, free. For a better, like a better term.
And your freedom is more to do with what's going on in your head internally than what's going on the outside. You can't let anybody determine what your freedom is by them impressing it. I was thinking about even like jobs and things like that. I've been in a situation where I've lost everything. So it doesn't matter to me now, even though it was like a situation where I was like, man, it's tough to go through. Like, I'm not that worried now having lost everything. Like, lost everything. Apartment, car, everything. Everything in one shot. Had to be homeless for like 2 years. I understand what it is to lose everything. So, like, I'm not scared about losing everything now. It didn't seem like a blessing at the time, but now it's like, I'm not being held to anybody's job or what you call it, because guess what? I can survive it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough if it had to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. You gotta be able to deal with those consequences.
Yeah,
man.
It's tough.
I was speaking to my wife the other night. It's like, and I told her, sometimes it's the fear of dealing with the consequences that keeps you in situations that you don't, in unfavorable situations.
Yeah.
And it's an unfavorable situation most of the time because we don't want to change.
Exactly.
We really don't want to change. We want everything around the situation
to change.
To change.
Yeah.
But we don't want to change. I told her, look, even I was like, not even I, but me.
Yeah.
It's not just you.
Yeah.
It's not just you that wants your situation to change.
Yeah.
But you want to stay the same.
Yeah, of course. And you can't.
But you can't.
You can't.
You have to grow. You have to, for lack of a better word, level up.
You got to level up.
You got to level up.
And it's hard to level up because you know what?
Oh.
There's so many surfaces to your life.
It's a barrier. There's barriers to break through, y'all.
Exactly. There's so many surfaces to your life. Your life is like a chess game on 3 or 4 different levels. And there's areas where people have expectations of you in those different levels. So then you've got to decide, okay, where am I moving this chess piece? Where am I moving this on this level? Because people see you at a certain perception level. So how do I change the perception level what people perceive me as so I can get to the place where I need to be at? So I've got to perceive myself a certain way. In order to do that, I've got to say, okay, I've got to extend excellence. People consider me excellent here. People consider me moderate here, conservative here, mediocre here. Okay, what are we adjusting so people see us all the way, the same way, all the way through? And I can just keep on leveling up each level on each chessboard, because each chessboard is either your job, your relationships, you know, what your hobby is, or what you feel your purpose is, where you feel you're going. These are different levels that you're always operating on, different aspects all the time. But which one are you leveling up? Which one are you putting the most attention to? Which are the ones you need? You have a desire overall to extend, and how much energy do you have to do that? I think you have to understand how to distribute your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My philosophy when we start off trying to level up our lives is to pick an area.
Yeah.
Just focus on that area. Everything else will be okay. If nobody's going to pass away or get hurt by you not being there, if the situation isn't going to change because you're not there and it's not going to hurt anybody, then you have the opportunity to work on the things that you need to work on the most.
True.
You work on, the key things that you need to, you find a key thing, you work on that. If everything else is okay, if the house isn't on fire and the kids aren't killing each other, if the kids aren't knocking each other over and hurting each other, then you have time and opportunity to work on one thing. Yeah. Because they're going to keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
The world's going to keep rolling around you. I watched a TikTok the other day. It was like some really sad music. And the guy is like, when you pass, there's going to be sadness for a couple of hours. Yeah. Then the church is gonna close. Yeah. The people are gonna drive off to go eat. Yeah. They're suddenly gonna feel a little bit better about you passing away. Yeah. And then the next day, there's nobody. You may be missed by some, but you won't be missed by all. True. The next day, your employer is going to look for another person to fill your spot. True. Yeah. And it's gonna, and everything's just gonna keep on rolling. Yeah. Your widowed wife or your widowed husband is gonna feel a little bit better, not a whole lot better, but even they are gonna look for some type of companionship. Yeah. In something. It don't even have to be a person. It could be a pet. It could be a pet. Yeah. It could be. They're gonna look for some type of comfort to replace the comfort that you gave them while you were there. Yeah. And you have, and that post kind of like snapped me into it. It was like, nah, we gotta put another episode of
exactly.
D&D podcast leveling up down, man. There's no excuse. Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing, you can't give yourself any excuses. One thing that I think Elon Musk or one of these other guys says, either David Geffen or Elon Musk, couldn't remember. It was one of these guys. He said, you need to be utterly merciless and ruthless with yourself. If you're trying to, you have to give yourself no quarter. You're trying to get certain things done. Don't give yourself any type of break. Get it done. Don't give yourself excuses. Like, you have the energy to do it. Don't get distracted by things that you know are distracting you. Focus on the things that you need to get done and get it done. Because how I'm realizing this, I think I said this before, everything you do is a test.
Yes, sir.
So are you passing the test on every level? You know if you're passing those tests. Every time you got to go to play for the band, you have a rehearsal, that's a test. You got to go to work, it's a test. You got to go deal with your spouse, it's a test. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Everything is a test. They're all looking for a performance from you. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's looking for a performance. And the only way you can perform and get everything is going in the shed and doing the work behind closed doors. You know, they say integrity is doing things without anybody, doing the right thing without anybody else seeing. And the more you do that, do things the right way behind closed door without anybody seeing, more your integrity grows, the more your value proposition grows. So you got to keep on doing the right thing behind closed doors so it becomes outwardly starts to shine. Then everything that you do starts to shine. Because what do you really want to draw to yourself? You want to draw value. You know what I'm saying? Now you've got to value yourself first.
Definitely do, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And in valuing yourself, you have to do a couple things. First thing, you have to finish what you start.
True. Oh, bro.
Like this is a conversation that we was having the other night with Jay and Levi, and that there's the guys in our group, and it was just like the general consensus for even me. I was sitting down talking with a very well known band director, and it's just like a lot of people don't finish what they start. Yeah. In our area and in our field. Yeah. Like we'll start something up. Yeah. We'll start a million different projects and won't finish it. Yeah. You won't see it through. Yeah. There's a vision, and then it just
looks so high.
Just looks so high that you don't.
It's hard.
You don't finish it. And we're all walking around as unfinished works with unfinished works.
Exactly.
And it's just like you can't build your self-esteem off unfinished works.
No, you can't.
You don't get that. You don't get that dopamine hit.
That dopamine hit.
You don't get that.
No, you can't.
You're just finding a different area to start something else up. Yeah. Then you'll start another project. Yeah. And you can't do that. And I'm reading this book right now, audio book called "Finish What You Start" by Peter Hollins. Okay. The art of following through with action, executing, and self-discipline. So, big tip from there is that sometimes you have to connect this stuff to. You have to connect it to. A lot of people want to connect your finishing things to gifts and things that you would give yourself. Yeah. But sometimes that ain't enough. Yeah. We think oh, if $1 million was really enough. Yeah. Wouldn't we all be out here trying to get it?
That's what I'm saying. Because you make $1 million in your lifetime.
If it was really enough, would we all be out here? Wouldn't we all be out here trying to get it? Yeah. There'd be no excuse.
Exactly.
If it was really enough. Yeah. But it can't just. It can't be enough.
It can't be because
the money can't just be enough.
No, it can't be.
It can't be because if it was, there'd be no other motivations.
Exactly.
This would just work.
Exactly.
Like man, if you do this, if you do these first couple of podcasts, you'll be a millionaire. Yeah. And is it working? But is it enough? But
exactly.
But sometimes different people find different things to do. Yeah. If you just finish this record, if you just finish this album, if you push through and make this record happen for the label, you'll be a multi-millionaire. Yeah. But then people don't finish albums.
No, they don't.
People don't finish projects.
They don't because they're afraid to be successful. And that's the problem. See, that's the thing that, I realized that I guess if you've been in failure for I was thinking about certain businessmen, like even the guy who is from Schindler's List, Schindler, and a couple other businessmen who are very successful. They started a lot of businesses, and some of the businesses they started were failures. They start business after business after business after business, and they will be all failures. And then one just hit, and they're multi-billionaires. And they're like, and I'm like, wow, but Do you have to go? I mean, when I was looking at one of these billionaires, he had like 10 businesses he started, and they all failed. They all failed, but I'm sure he said he learned from every single one of those businesses. You know, eventually he got to that point. Michael Jordan was taking off his basketball varsity in high school or something like that, kicked off the team or something like that, or whatever the case what happened. If he would have decided, we'd never know about who Michael Jordan is.
Never know. We'd never know. That we'd never have a Iverson. We'd never have a Kobe. We'd never have a bunch of people if Jordan decided, I don't want to do this anymore because I I decided to catch an attitude.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be there.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? What if he decided to quit? Like, that affected so many people. He's affected so many. And this is the thing, I think, you know, the Bible talks about that you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Comparing yourself to others is unwise. Because how do you see yourself is different from God, how God sees you. Now, we think people in the world are, oh, this person's great and all this stuff, but they've acquired stuff and they've been lifted above because they do a certain thing, which is great. But does God see that person like that? Does God see Michael Jordan like that? I highly doubt that God sees any person above other people because he's above everything.
I feel like the reason why you don't do that is because you're assigning value to something he never told you to assign value.
True. What?
He never told you that you're worth more than that person.
Exactly.
Or that person's worth more than you. So when you start comparing your life to other people, you're saying that they're worth
more than you.
They're worth more than you.
True.
And when God loves all of us, there's no room for him to you know what I'm saying? There's no room for you to pass. You're basically passing judgment on that person.
Yeah.
Now, judgment isn't always a bad thing. You could say, oh, that person's great. That's a judgment.
Yeah.
That person's off scot-free. He can live here forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a judgment.
Yeah.
He's going to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's judgment.
Yeah.
He's going to hell. That's a judgment. They're all judgments, but God never said that we was here to judge each other.
True.
So if we start assigning value to one another, then we're lifting people up that he never told us to lift up.
True.
He never told us to put ourselves in those positions.
Yeah. Lift yourself up,
When you do that, you put yourself below what he values you
True.
as.
Exactly.
And that is that you are priceless.
Exactly.
That you are God-made, God-filled, and you belong to him. So we can't sit there and compare each other.
Yeah.
Compare each other to each other. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just be you.
Yeah. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Be better. Level up. Be the person that you want to be later on. Because in my book, there's a strategy. I think it's called like the 10-10-10 strategy. Like, let's say you're going to the gym and your thing has been go to the gym 3 times a week. Yeah. And the second week you decide to skip. You haven't made it a habit yet. Yeah. But the second week you decide to skip one. You got to ask yourself, how are you going to feel about this in 10 hours?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then you ask yourself, how will I feel about this? How will I feel about not going today, 10 days from now?
Oh, wow.
Where is your mental state going to be? Just ask yourself, because you've done it before.
Yeah.
It isn't like you haven't done it and you don't know how you're going to feel.
Yeah.
When you miss something that you told yourself you were going to do. Yeah. You're not going to get the dopamine hit to go back to the gym.
Of course.
You're going to mess up the routine. So now your routine's out of whack. Yeah. You haven't created the routine to keep going. So when you miss that day or those 2 days or that 3 days or those 3 days, then you ask yourself, how are you going to feel 10 months from now that you missed this day, and that you're probably going to miss the next day because you feel like, why do it if I missed the other day? Yeah. So it's like there's a 10-10-10, you know what I'm saying, strategy to it, and you just got to ask yourself, what is it worth? Is it worth missing? Yeah, is it worth missing? You know, it's interesting you should say that, because I was just thinking about this quote this book was saying, is to do the things that you
are you don't want to do, that's discipline.
Woo.
Doing the things that you don't want to do, that's disciplining yourself. Like things, and the more you do that, the better you get at getting the things you want to get done. Like doing things like you don't feel like doing this, but you make yourself do it. The more it's almost like this whole thing, like I think I talked about this before, is like unfortunately making yourself suffer. Like suffering, like things come through suffering and sacrifice. Like really, the things you really want on the other end is really, unfortunately, is through suffering.
It's through a period.
A period.
Now, if you look at it, now I want y'all to take this wholeheartedly. Now, I need you to think about this. Let's say you're looking at a paragraph. How big is a period in the scheme or the scope of a paragraph? Periods are really small. But at the same time, the periods are there. There's times where it's going to be difficult to do what you feel is difficult to do. But you got to ask yourself, is like, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel like you're making it? Do you want to feel like you're getting to the next part? Do you want to feel like you're progressing? Do you want to feel like you are success? Those feelings usually come from us disciplining ourselves, going through those periods of sacrifice to make the things that we want happen.
One thing I realized too is that you gotta, in order for you to get your mindset to leveling up, it's gotta be internal. Your internal clock is moving. A lot of times we are like kind of beheld by time. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't have time as a constraint, you know what I'm saying? One thing I was thinking about, the fact that God exists outside of time. How do you get to the point where you can exist outside of time? Not being constrained by time, but yet and still navigate through time and get the things you want to get done. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we're thinking about, okay, we don't have enough time to do this, we don't have enough time to do that, but you really do.
You really do. Everybody gets those same
amount of seconds.
Same amount of seconds.
Hours. And minutes to do whatever you decide to do. But a lot of times it's really how much energy, like I said before, that you can transmit into whatever you're trying to get done. Because like there's so many projects I would love to do, but do I have the energy? Now, you got to pool your energy with somebody else. Like, D gives me energy by us doing this podcast.
Let's do it, man.
I feed off the energy that you have that gives me. So you're going to need people. You just can't do stuff by yourself.
You can't do everything by yourself now.
If you want to accomplish several different things, then you're going to have a person and counterpart in order to give you the energy to do it. So you just don't exist off your own energy.
No, you don't.
I'm not saying you need to be a leech and feed off somebody's energies, like sucking life out of them. But I'm saying you need to make sure that you find somebody who has the same type of mindset that you have and start trying to get to the point where they can help you in your parts and shore up the things that you need to get done. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to need to be inspired yourself. And
with that being said, I was big inspired. We're going to end in a minute, y'all. But I was big inspired when I saw these hats.
Oh, okay.
And I said, you know what? It's worth it for the podcast.
What?
It's worth it for the podcast. So here's yours.
Oh my God.
Here's yours.
All right.
I want you to open it on camera so you can see.
All right. Oh my God. D's leveling up.
Leveling up, baby.
Oh man.
Let's go.
It's getting serious now.
It's getting serious, baby.
Getting serious
we leveling
right now.
up. Understand? Level up.
Oh, I'm scared now.
Understand?
That money's gonna come in now.
I know. I want to say God put this on my screen to get.
Oh wow!
But it spoke to me and was like, I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep scrolling. I ain't gonna get that. Then I said, you know what?
What?
This would be dope.
This is dope, bro.
This is that energy that he's just talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to push that energy
push it to the limit.
each other, and you got to push it to the limit. And you do things
that give you inspiration. Bro, I love it, bro.
Reminding me that I need to level up.
Yeah.
I have my level up cap.
Bro, I love it, bro.
Yes, sir.
I love it, man. Up. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. We got
the team, bro.
We got to get some stuff going. See, this is the thing. This is the thing you got to do in life, man. You gotta inspire each other to do stuff. You got to be around people who inspire you because it gets tough in life to do things. You know, life is real hard.
It really is, guys, and you don't have to stop because it's hard. You know, there are some people have people to lean on. Some people you got to lean on yourself till you find someone else to lean on.
Yeah, you got to lean on yourself.
And that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah,
you might have to lean on yourself for a little while longer to get to that person that's going to inspire in you, and you inspire that person.
Exactly.
To cooperate together to make something happen.
Yeah, because you got to get a partner in crime, or a partner in your bet, or whatever the case you want to call it.
A partner in success. A partner in winning. You got to find you somebody. Don't go actively looking for this person.
Exactly.
But the energy, once you feel that energy reciprocated, you protect it.
It's so interesting how you were talking about that. I have one last thing I wanted to say is that I remember watching the show, right? Mm-hmm. And in this show, this girl is getting involved in one of these kind of Illuminati elite schools. Mm-hmm. And they came to her and it was like, what do you want? They're like, okay, you want to get in with us, right? Okay. What do you want? She said, I want to win. I was like, whoa, that's deep. She was like, I'm losing everything. I'm losing all the time. Like, I want to win. That's all I want. I want to win. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to win. I put that on my desk one time. I was like, you can win. You should start thinking that way. Like what do I want to do? I want to win. I want to win at everything.
We want to win.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I want to win.
Yes, sir.
You know, just like a race car driver, he wins this. I want to win all these races that we're running. You know what I'm saying? I want to be running a rat race. I want to win the race.
I want to win the race.
I'm tired of going, you're driving, people are driving ahead of you. You're back here. They're driving Bentleys. You're driving back here with the Toyota. Nothing wrong with Toyota, whatever the case may be. Nothing wrong with the RAV4. Nothing wrong with all those cars. But guess what? If that's what you like, that's great. But guess what? My mind can't think that way. My mind has to go further than that. And that's the thing I think I'm most concerned or worried about is Charleston White was saying that. I know I reference him a lot, but he was talking about the fact that this is your life. They show you your birth, there's a dash, and then there's your death. Everything in between in that little dash is what makes you who you are. I'm trying to make the biggest splash and dash that I can, but in thinking of it, are we comparing it to what other people are doing with their dashes? Because maybe God doesn't want me to be famous or rich or this or that. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just wants me to do this, and this legacy leaves something for somebody else later on that people it's almost I'll give you an example. There's certain people, I was looking at this guy, Ip Man. You see Ip Man, right? Mm-hmm. He's Bruce Lee's teacher. Ip Man, probably in his life, he's dead, of course. He left a legacy because he taught one of the greatest martial artists of all time. So therein, somebody goes back and discovers his life. But I'm sure during his life, he probably had no idea that he's leaving a legacy like that. But he had to be a person of a certain amount of integrity that he was able to have his name live on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm thinking about. I want to make sure my name lives on. Beyond me. Yep. And even if it doesn't, if wherever God calls it to be, then that's what it is. As long as I'm doing what he called me to do and I accomplish that, what he sent me here for. But at the same time, I'm thinking, that's a great legacy. You're not even around and people are still, your name is still echoing throughout history. Sure. I think that speaks to whoever that person was in that time. Mm-hmm. Their integrity had to be a certain level, or their effect on the people around them had to be a certain level that their name is still being repeated.
That's the type of level up that we're trying to do right here on the D&D Leveling Up podcast. Those are the type of level ups that we're trying to get to, y'all. And it takes small steps, but you gotta take the steps.
You gotta take small steps and get it done.
You gotta take the steps, so let's get it done.
Let's do it.
Action, baby.
Let's get going. Let's go.
If you don't know,
now you know.
See y'all later.
Peace.
Peace. All right.
All right.